next week. So talk to me. Why is Bitcoin going parabolic ahead of crypto week instead of during crypto week?
I think the main reason is uh, buy the hype and sell the news, right? Everybody's buying ahead because on crypto week, I think we're gonna probably go down, and not by much, but that's typically how all this works. There's good news, people tack on the good news, the insiders buy on the good news, and then ultimately sell when the good news actually comes to fruition. So it's a lot of good things happening, man. But at the same time, let me backtrack. We hit an all-time high today.
Hey, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have it on the screen over here. The trade that I put up. This was 2 days ago. I saw the books, and I'm like, there's a lot of manipulation going on the downside. Um, Plus, Trump is talking about cutting rates, talking about how stupid Powell is, and how he needs to resign, and a lot more people are calling for his resignation. So I thought we were going to be under more choppy kind of an environment, and maybe not hit 12 to whatever K until after the summer. But hey, man, this is a good time to be alive. I mean, I saw it a couple days ago, and you know what? We have to take those trades once we see them, right?
Bit as it's going up in price. So what are your indicators? I mean, I just look at the indicators, but from your perspective, because you're the math whiz, you have all the coding in the background. What cryptocurrencies are you looking at right now? Are you looking at the Ethereum rotation finally with the treasuries? Or are you looking at XRP with like Brad Garlinghouse yesterday testifying in Congress? What's going on?
Last cycle tokens that are getting their time in the sun, I think, and I believe everybody's trying to look for the next Bitcoin. And institutionalists plus government officials have been sold. I don't know if it's through um, the Ethereum Foundation itself or whatnot, but they also did put out something that they were gonna remake some of the tokenomics to buy and burn some ETH. So it's a mix of those tokens that are going to be looking at by institutional and regulator eyes as like the next Bitcoin, and they want to be at the ground floor, I guess. Outperforms, and I bet Bitcoin's outperforming everything. Everybody's looking at what's going to outperform Bitcoin, and right now you have Fartcoin. I'm looking at Hype. Yeah, no, Fartcoin is the most outperforming beta on Bitcoin in the past few weeks. And then I'm not sold on Ethereum. I mean, you know how I feel about that. It's just
Ethereum is it. There is no second best. Bitcoin is basically Dogecoin with better marketing. You're not buying it.
the reason that the Treasury thing and the Treasury plan works for Bitcoin is because it's a finite amount. How many Ethereum are in circulation? What's the FDV? And can they essentially change the entire tokenomics of the platform to then go ahead and use I don't know. I feel like they're doing like interim manipulation to get the price to 10,000. I think I heard that. And that were there
Price first.
burning tokens, holding, taking them off the market, maybe putting them in staking. Like the Ethereum Foundation has a singular view to try to raise capital now. And that's scary because before their view was to implement technology, which is what all this should be about. But they have taken the approach of saying, our coin is down. It's been a shitter in terms of the performance that Bitcoin had in comparison. So what do we do? And there was a story that came out through them. I think Jeff Lubin. It may have been at a permissionless a couple weeks ago, where they did talk about this, where they're going to change kind of the structure on how the token flows to then go ahead and take that potentially to 10,000. So I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust it.
think this affects the price of Solana in the short term in a positive or negative way?
Reputable stock um, stock trading applications, and it was released on Solana. So there's something to that, right? If you just break that down, like why was it released on Solana, not on Ethereum? If the institutions are now looking at Ethereum, we have a lot of conflicting signals, right?
Oh no, Solana's better technology. Oh no, Ethereum's more secure. Go ahead.
Probably better technology at this point. It's faster, it's quicker, it's more resilient. Let me take that back. It's not resilient. It's gone down a bunch of times, but it's definitely more applicable towards what's going on in TradFi. Now, the CEO of Robinhood, Vlad, whatever his name, yeah, whatever his name is. So he put out something because they announced that they're doing their own tokenized stocks, and a lot of people are confused by this because if you buy this, and I put this on X the other day, I posted about this or reply about it. If you buy, let's say, for example, X Tesla shares, which are the Solana X stock derivative of Tesla, you don't have equity in Tesla. You have a right to speculate on the price of Tesla. Uh, right. Thing. And that to a lot of people is confusing, but if you're trading this just because you think that Tesla's going to go up, then what does it matter if you have equity in the company? You're not going to get any dividends from them anyway. So you just want to be affected by the price. And I think what these new RWA tokens are, like the real world assets and tokenized securities, are going to provide that avenue for global speculation on these assets. Where there were, people in Bangladesh and all these other countries are cut off from the right, right. But
Okay, because we're not gonna go down that because just go ahead. Nah, bro, we're not doing that. Nah, nah, Ninja. We got Jersey pizza, bro. Come on, we got Jersey New York City pizza. But good. What's up, though? Go ahead, sorry.
the institutional interest in Ethereum versus like XRP or Solana, I think it's very telling that these companies are using Solana for tokenized securities. Like this is and this is where I'm going back with what Vlad said. He said that this is probably the biggest fundamental change in finance in over a decade. And if that's happening on Solana, then this is your original question. It is possibly going to affect Solana. It's going to positively affect the price because after Bitcoin, you had all the shit go into ETH, and now you had a lot of the shit going into Solana. And I think Pump.fund is going to launch their coin in a couple of days, which that's been yeah. No, no, I think yeah. Well, I don't know what's the price on it right now. I think it's still in pre-sale. I think it's going to go for sale in the next few days, and I don't know what's the price on that going to be. They've launched a lot of shit. Um, you know, Well, that's the thing with all this stuff. Like Solana allows itself, and I can't believe I'm even like talking about this in depth now, but I've just been thinking about it lately. Like Solana allows itself for all that crap, but also now for the institutions to be like, no, this is serious enough for us to use for tokenized assets. Um, that's really big, dude. And I think that Ethereum doesn't have that kind of clout anymore. Ethereum doesn't have that gravitas like it once did because they're focused on their own price of the token, which leads me to believe I'm like, do you have debts? Like, what are you trying to pay off? I thought we were technology. I thought you had enough money. I thought Vitalik was one of the richest people in the world right now, and everybody sends him money all the time. Yeah, but I never believed it because there's only one God, but also Jesus. No, well, okay, for you, crypto Jesus.
Well, listen, we go ahead, and after that, somebody has a question for you. Well, go ahead. No, the person said Zoomer Don TV. Will Dogecoin ever go up again, but like significantly?
Yeah, for sure. I think all boats rise once Bitcoin goes up. The issue then becomes is what's the long-term value? I think for Doge, a lot of it was lost on Elon. A lot of it was put on Elon. A lot of it was lost on Elon. I thought, and we probably had this talk back, before the election, that if Trump gets elected in this Doge party, how good it might be for the Doge token. That didn't resonate as much, right? Well, thanks, Elon, for being a freaking douchebag retard. But on Doge, I mean, listen, dude. The promise was, oh, because Elon's talking about it so much, and now he bought Twitter, which became X, and they're looking to do an all-in-one app with, finance and AI. That this was going to be the token to fuel all that. No. And and that's the problem with a lot of this stuff. And it happened like when all these like rappers and celebrities were getting into meme coins. There is a short-term buzz to it, right? Which translates into price. Like it goes up dramatically. The issue then becomes how do we use that long term? And there isn't a long-term solution for any of these tokens. They're just shit. The only one that matters is Bitcoin, and then that's it.
Expected finance engineer. I think that's more Fern. I'm just world, and I just like wearing cowboy hats. And I'm in New Hampshire right now. That's why I'm wearing this. But listen, the comments are actually kind of funny, bro. If you scroll the comments. But listen, I want to bring you back to what you said before with Ethereum and Solana. I got you off track, but let's bring it back to that. Today there was an announcement. Robinhood announced, dun, 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 breaking news. In the US, they will now allow Ethereum and Solana staking on Robinhood, which they have never done before. Is staking a major play this bull run? Now that you saw that Solana ETF is the first one to have staking last week, and now you have Robinhood allowing Solana and Ethereum staking in the US. Make that very clear for the European audience. Good. I don't know. What? You don't stake?
Holding these tokens on, then basically locking them up. Now, right, right. Well, you secure the network by taking tokens off I mean, they talk about secure, but you take tokens off the platforms and exchanges and basically lock them up to artificially inflate price because you're restricting all the demand, or I'm sorry, all the supply and creating more demand, theoretically. But I mean, I've done staking before, and it's good for a while. And if you have a long-term vision about particular asset, uh, then sure, stake. Uh, but in terms of like institutions doing it, I think that what happened to retail when they staked and like how things go to shit, and there's when you have to take your coins out, you can't because they're illiquid, and it takes sometimes 15 to 20 to 30 days to unstake. Bro. Sure, go ahead. Yeah, they're good at staking. At the end of it, I just think it's another internal plan for these organizations to then go ahead and artificially restrict supply in the market and thinking that that's going to help their tokens grow. And the reward that they give is the future money that they think they're going to make, or the present money that they think they're going to make on the bounce. Because remember, all those APRs after a while they go down because it's just the curve. Like you can only stake for so long where it's fruitful for your rewards, and then it goes down. I mean, if you're a long-term participant in these tokens, then sure, you're a developer that's and projects on there and you want to secure them, sure. But I don't find staking as big news. Not nor do I find any more of these treasury like news items now, especially of things that are not Bitcoin, to be big news anymore.
How can he accept Dogecoin at his restaurant? Like Stripe or something? Right? Is it called Stripe?
actually really know that space. I used to know it a little bit. I used to know some of the places, but I don't really know that space. I think MoonPay right now is working with a lot of retailers. Um, but I think that that's like the best, like whatever people have, if you can accept and then transfer to your asset. Like if you're Dom and you have a pizza shop and you want to start accepting crypto, not just specifically Dogecoins, I think you're going to limit yourself because it's very niche, right? If somebody has Dogecoin and they want to pay with it, for sure you'll accept it. But having a QR code or payment system that leads somebody to open up whatever wallet that they have and send you is the best option.
His big play is Ethereum treasury for some company because he believes that all these banks are going to be creating stable tokens on their on Ethereum's primarily because it's the safest, strongest, and oldest ecosystem out there for creating stable coins. Even though we've seen Solana and Tron doing a lot more, in my opinion. But anyway, his thesis is that he's going to buy tons of Ethereum and stake the shit out of it because that's a big play for stablecoin legislation. Do you think that's a big play Ethereum, or is it Solana Tron?
It's where everybody is going to, right? And I think a lot of people have migrated to Solana for the speed mostly. Um, I'm very apprehensive of Tom Lee and a lot of these people who go on CNBC and bloviate because they have a vested interest in what they're saying.
So they're faking
And
us out.
it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy if you keep pushing that narrative out. Inevitably, somebody's going to catch it. More people get will snowball. In terms of technology-wise, like look, do a transfer on Ethereum right now. What are the fees now? I mean, I haven't used it in a while because the fees were massive, and I know a lot of developer friends of mine that have moved out of the Ethereum ecosystem because they're building platforms that inevitably are good platforms, but to use them, it's so expensive. When Ethereum moved to the proof of stake, it was supposed to free up the network and all that. I think it's done the opposite. I think if they would have stayed as a proof of work platform, it would have been more beneficial, especially institutionally wise, because you would have had a physical security, right? And I think staking inevitably provides that, but it's all up in the cloud, right? So inevitably, if everything's on the cloud, and this is, I'm just like hypothetically putting this out there, then that's also going to get more expensive, and the transfer fees are not going to get cheaper. You need to have physical storage.
Ethereum is straight just proof of stake, right? Which to me is a little bit weird because like proof of work is superior to proof of stake. Haspa showed us that. I'm not a big Haspa fan, but I do like Haspa technology, and it showed us that proof of work is superior to proof of stake if it's just proof of stake alone.
So with that, there's innovation. Like you're gonna get the cheapest energy source. I think now with this administration, I mean, I heard that this was the dawn of the nuclear age now, and it's gonna prosper. And that's something that you kind of want. Like you want more nuclear reactors that are safer. Like we learned our lessons. Bitcoin allows for that because take an example like El Salvador. Bukele is doing geothermal mining free. It's clean. Like it's genius. And not everybody has that natural resource, but ultimately having just the miners physical there and finding cheap energy sources allows for better innovation. The proof of stake model has not proven that yet. They say that the reason it was pushed. I remember vividly in like 2000, right? Yes, the ESG, where you had Elon dunking on Bitcoin because it's really expensive to run these networks, energy wise. I think it was a lot of that FUD there to try to make things more compliant with institutions who had this new ESG mandate and this new green initiative mandate. Um, but that they basically shot themselves in the foot with that. I'm sorry, Solana is different because it was never a proof of work token, right? They came out of the gate proof of stake. So and Ethereum has a problem with its network too, where they've rolled it back. And there's a lot of, you have the Ethereum Foundation that basically Vitalik, I think, tried to like put his like girlfriend as the president or something like that. Like anytime that you have a token that you know too many of the people about it, it's a problem, I feel, because
Kind of like Solana. You don't really know much about the founders. You know that they're there, but
exactly.
you know their personal lives. You don't know their whole backstory. Even Charles, he keeps a lot of his life personal and private. It's all professional with them.
Because of that, the price suffers because anybody could fuck up, right? And like people do fuck up all the time, and networks fuck up. But if a network fucks up and there's a community behind it that can fix it, like Solana's gone down. I mean, Google it. How many times has Solana like crashed? Uh, right, right. Well, but that's the big thing though, and this is where I'm getting at with this. The developer community is so much like cohesive in Solana rather than Ethereum, where it's a little bit more fractured. To stake, right? You need to have 32 ETH. Like that's a barrier for a new developer getting in to the system, right?
Whereas Solana, all you have to do is get half a Solana and you're good to go.
I mean, and that's monumental. And I think more networks like that are going to more L1s are going to be more geared toward that. I think Solana's and Ethereum's future is going to be a security layer. So you were talking before about like Arbitrum. Why did Robinhood choose Arbitrum? Because they're not going to choose Solana because it's dog shit in terms of speed. Arbitrum is a bit faster, but Arbitrum where it is better for an institution is that it's going to use Ethereum as the security layer. And
Yep,
with
you have the
that,
best
if
of
you
both worlds, right?
right, right. And Bitcoin could be used as a security layer as well, but I just feel like what Bitcoin's protocol is perfect. You don't need to add something like Ethereum was created, as a response to development to developers getting into the space and wanting to do something with this technology. But ultimately, I think it's corrupted itself. And what they built is so antiquated that they can only use it right now for security verification, where more L2s are going to have to be built on top of it. And the fact that Robinhood did that is very telling.
Question is this: we're hearing a lot of talk about $150,000, but Standard Chartered told us, I think we didn't talk about this before, that we're going to hit $135,000 in quarter three and $200,000 in quarter four. That means that we could either make two assumptions. If I'm incorrect, let me know. That July we're going to boom, and August is going to be very slow, and September we're going to pick up speed, or that we're going to go crazy in July, August, and September. If that is the case, what do you think we're going to hit $120,000 next week during crypto week for Bitcoin?
Um, yeah. So I think August is going to be choppy. Yeah. Or DeFi summary. Yeah. Well, that was basically shit. I mean, I could look at the charts right now, but I don't know how much of that to happen actually in August, right? And August, everybody's like mentally checked out and recharging for the September and the Q4 push. I think the big indicators of whether this is actually going to work is, and we're going to get to 150 and God hope 250,000 by the end of the year is the rate cuts need to start happening.
So if two hundred
Um,
fifty thousand dollars by the end of the year is what's going to happen, we're going to get to November, and then for 1 month, Bitcoin's going to go from 120 to two hundred fifty
November's
thousand.
going to
Is
be the
that how it's going
biggest
to work?
month. Yeah, November's going to be the biggest month for sure. No doubt about it.
Okay,
End of
so are
October,
we
early
entering?
November. Yeah.
So we're gonna be in altcoin season because during altcoin season, correct me if I'm wrong, Bitcoin can also pump too. All altcoin season means that other cryptocurrencies are pumping faster rates, right? But everything can just go up together. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
it's Bitcoin Dom. Like when Bitcoin Dom is going out, I'll show you something real quick because this is actually kind of important. Yes, I'm gonna show you something on my screen here. This is we're talking about this before. So this is Bitcoin dominance, and like
Hmm.
you see this over here. This was from November of last year to what was it? Like December. Yeah, this dominance went down. I measured her out. It went down about 11%, meaning that anything that was an altcoin went up in that time. And then you had the reverse effects. And we had a little mini one here from what was it? Uh beginning of May. to it was just like about a week to May 12th.
That's when Ethereum popped. I think Ethereum popped that month.
Exactly, and Solana and all the that's actually Fartcoin was all in here. So
Filecoin
right
and
now,
Ethereum. Imagine
yeah,
that.
right now,
You never saw that in your bingo cards. Go
yeah,
ahead.
no, not at all. We're at 60 what 4% right now of Bitcoin dominance. So this right here, this gray box is basically the do or die. If we go past this and down, like altcoin season for sure. But if you pull the layers back, right, like this right here is getting a little toppy. And I think right now, if this doesn't exceed this over here, which I don't think it is, and keeps going back down, I think we're going to have a massive, massive altcoin season.
All right, fair enough. Well, with that being
Yeah.
said, brother, we're gonna catch up next week for in
Yeah.
person and also like via video because I think next week's gonna be crazy, especially the first half of the
Yeah.
week. Like, sell the news.
Sell the news, fuck the noise. Virtuoso.com. Please sign up, guys. We're going to be launching pretty soon. I'm going to send out some cool things. I've been posting a lot, posting some really awesome signals that have been doing incredibly well. Free to chat, free to DM. I'm on there. I'm at Front of All Trades on X, also Virtuoso Crypto on X. And yeah, man, we'll talk. We'll talk next week. Mike, you're a killer, man. The networking god.
I'm gonna go hunting.
You
Well, I'm going
should.
fishing
Or
first.
you
With
might be
that being
hunted
said,
though with that cowboy hat. I don't know. You're you're
yeah,
you're you're in New Hampshire. You,
no,
you got to
we're
carry a
gonna do
knife
big
with
boy
you.
things. That's all good. Token black guy. With that being said, upwards and onward, my friends, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.